Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Arcantu here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am so happy to have some time with you today. It is the middle of the week, and sometimes we feel a little sluggish on the middle of the week, but we have the perfect remedy for you. We have the perfect remedy for you, and it is sound healing. It's actually the perfect remedy for you any day of the week, but we're going to chat about it today, and hopefully, it's going to energize you a little bit and let you kind of pick up and go from here with some extra spring in your step and some plans for the days to come. Sound healing, if you do not know, is also known as sound therapy or vibrational medicine, and it's a practice of using sound and frequency for relaxation, for healing, and for personal development. There's a very large following to it. I personally am a fan and devotee myself, using Himalayan and crystal signing bowls. I guess it's signing bowls or is it singing bowls?
Singing bowls.
Singing
Yep.
bowls, okay.
Hmm.
Crystal singing bowls and tuning forks as sound healing instruments are all part of this ancient practice that is known to reduce your stress, your anxiety, improve your sleep, create a deep sense of well being, and promote healing that goes beyond simple relaxation. We're talking to the core, folks. That's the whole point of what we're talking about today. And so, with that, we are so thrilled to be able to have joined us today, Lisa Annese. She's going to share her journey with you, how she became a practitioner, and how she really embraced this as being a place for healing. And she's also going to tell us a little bit about her journey as a divorced woman, a single parent, a hearing loss advocate, and a healer. She is a dedicated practitioner and teacher of Kundalini yoga and meditation, a sound healer and author, a spiritual guide, and the owner of the Divine Sound, a yoga and healing studio in Wyckoff, New Jersey. She chose to walk this path of trust and trusting her own spirit with strength and grace and love and light as the answer to the darkness that she was experiencing. And so she's a wonderful person to be able to share a little bit to help us travel through such a journey wherever we are on our own. A testament to truth, that challenges are sometimes our greatest blessings. She has become a true guru at the heart in her ability to turn dark into light, and in her own life, for herself, for her two boys. This act of bravery and courage and ability to be vulnerable really changed the whole entire narrative for her and for the future of her family. She currently lives with her two sons in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, Anthony and Michael, and their toy poodle, Rocco.
Hmm.
Um, we are so happy to have you here, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today live. I'm really honored. So thank you.
So, I don't even, there's so many places to go, but let's start with your own journey. And let's start with your family. um, so we know, you shared your son was diagnosed with permanent hearing loss, and that
Hmm.
introduced you. That was kind of the gateway to where you are now. Can you? And I really appreciate you sharing, that such personal part of your life, and to be able to model for others how such a life challenge and a family challenge really can be a gateway to kind of your next chapter in a very big way.
Yeah. So before my son was diagnosed with hearing loss, I was being trained to become a Kundalini yoga teacher. So I already had this spiritual awakening type of awareness, interest, awakening to consciousness happening. And in that practice, it's identifying your truth and the path of your own truth and spreading light out into the world, into your awareness. In that practice, we also use a gong. So behind me, I have one of my gongs here, and the gong helps to move energy. So I was already familiar with sound healing through Kundalini. We also chant and sound heal and Kundalini mantras to help moving of energy. And so I had a little bit of background. But with my son, he was 7 at the time. Now he's 9. There was something kind of off with his hearing, and I had a psychic session done that said sound healing could help him. So wanting to do everything I could with my son, I went down that path. So once he was permanently diagnosed with the hearing loss, he wears hearing aids because I want to make sure that he gets all the technology that he needs. I wanted to see how I could further help him spiritually. and I found the Tibetan bowls. So I have a bowl here now. This is one of my Tibetan bowls. I can play it just real quick. It's a Tibetan bowl. This is the B bowl. This one connects with our crown chakra. So each of the bowls connects with different chakras in our bodies. There's 7 energy chakras in our bodies, the centers. And when you play the bowls in a pattern, they help to move energy that maybe no longer serving us, realign the energy that's in an area that's too much, whatever it is. And when you do this, you become lighter. So things that are happening in our bodies are all because of an excess of energy that don't belong there. So basically, so when I found the Tibetan bowl practice, I knew that was my answer because I became a practitioner. So I knew that I could help clients with different ailments and things. So first I got into it for my son just to help him, but I learned that I was finding joy with these instruments and in a way that I never could imagine. I also have right here, these are called tingshas. So tingshas are used in Tibet to wake up the monks for meditation and start meditation, but also for hearing loss. So I learned about this in January of 2021 from my teacher, and I knew that I was in the right place because that is where I wanted to be. So I just became really interested in the instruments and started to practice on friends to understand the different protocols for anxiety, depression, new beginning, creativity, you name it. There's something you can help with that. And I started offering sessions for friends, like I said, but also group sessions, people's backyards. They came to my apartment, and then I just started to grow and grow and grow. And then finally got my healing center in November of 2021 because I needed a space for all my beautiful instruments. And then now I can bring people here. I offer sessions around the different moons, the full moon and new moon time. And we're doing women's circles coming up. So a lot of things are going on. It's really exciting to share these gifts with the community because it was new to me, the idea of sound healing. I know you had experience
Mm.
from your location that you said in Montclair where you did practicing, but it was new to me. And I just loved it because there's different ways that you can meditate. And sound healing is a way of doing that where you just basically relax and allow the sound to move through you, vibrate through you to further release the emotions, energies, whatever it may be that are happening. And you always wake up lighter, clearer. And I always say I get the answers I need in meditation. They just come to me. And when you're still, your soul can speak to you.
Yes, yeah. Wow, you said so much in what you just shared for sure. And I do encourage anyone watching, if you have never had the experience, and I would encourage you to have the experience with the different types because the crystal bowls have a very different experience. I found from a sound healing perspective. Than yes, then there's one of those.
This
Than
is a
than the one
crystal
that
bowl.
Lisa just showed us. Yeah, different
This
sound,
one is
different everything. Yeah.
correct. And I actually did have crystal before I got the Tibetan because I was just curious. It was the
Yeah.
pandemic. I said, you know what? Let me start learning about these different instruments. And I have a couple crystal ones. This is for the root chakra. The root is at the base of our spine. This is a rose quartz infused singing bowl. So they're different. They have a different sound, and I play them together. Um, I play the Tibetan ones as a protocol. So there's a certain pattern I play when I do individual treatments or on the body and around the body. In a group session, I play them off to the side with the heads turned towards me. And then I place bowls on the people's bodies as well in different spots where I feel called that they maybe need some assistance. I love working on the heart because, obviously we all could use some love and opening that area. And so that's one thing I always tend to do is put the bowl on people's hearts to open it up and help it sing. So it's just a
Yeah.
very beautiful sound.
Yes, for sure. And again, I really do encourage anyone who's not had the experience to do it. There really is nothing like the experience. And the first time I had it done, it was, I mean, I don't even know the word for it, but when you just feel the vibrations, from it sitting on your body and it kind of, no matter what you believe or how you are wired, I don't think you could argue that there's not something so powerful about feeling it kind of wave through your body, that vibration. So
Mm-hmm.
I do encourage everyone to at least get out and have the experience at least once, but I guarantee it wouldn't be the last time you would do it if you did it for the first time.
Yep.
So you were so great to share the story of, how you came to this, and, how you identified your son having this need, and how it's, has been so impactful in terms of helping you support him through, his life's reality, and help him adjust, and how it's helped others. But, I know that as we were preparing for this, you shared about, living your second life.
Yep.
And I think that that's such a great kind of you know way to explain, because so many of us, I always say there's not a straight line anywhere. I don't care what, your life experience is, whether it's with your, with your career, whether it's, with your personal life, whether, your own personal journey, your family journey. There's no straight line anywhere. And so, we do end up kind of rebirthing multiple times, during the course of, even our one life here, whatever people believe, of course, being respectful of that. But, you talked a lot about, you went through a divorce, you transitioned to being a single parent. Um, can you, share a little bit about how this world that you've moved into with mantras really helped you find your voice, and also the courage to make, the changes in your life to bring you to, your second life?
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So I love that when you share, because everything's a learning experience. We come here to learn lessons that was destined before. And so um, being grateful for things that happen to us that maybe you think are a setback or a negative in your life, really an opportunity to learn, to say, what can I work? How can this take me further? So that's basically something I love that you shared before. So it all was a waking call. I realized I wasn't living myself. It took a couple years. I mentioned I share like a triangle approach. So I first recognized that my physical health needed to be improved, and then I went to my mental health with therapy, and then my spiritual health was with the practice of Kundalini yoga. And I had practiced yoga for many years, not finding one that really connected with me, but Kundalini did, because that was really about identifying your truth, a very spiritual practice where you really focus on who am I, and why am I here, and becoming aware and conscious of the world of my actions. And I felt like I just was going through the motions. I was a stay-home mother. I was very grateful to be that, take care of my children, but something was always missing. And what was missing was my purpose, and really identifying what made Lisa happy. I always looked externally for those things, and I was always a mind decision. But through the practice of Kundalini, and then really identifying who I was, I learned to go inside. The healing had to happen from within, and go into my heart center to really feel what was going on. So during the pandemic, I was finishing up my yoga certification. It was online because of the pandemic. And then about May timeframe, I just said, I had to make this change from my heart, and decided to separate. And my son was diagnosed with a hearing loss a couple of months later. So a lot of these things were happening at the same time. And I just kept going by this rising phoenix moment, the rising phoenix, so the rising phoenix spiritual animal that had risen from the ashes to become rebirth. And I just kept feeling into that energy. And I said, this is what I have to do, because this is my life. Looking at the pandemic, and people had died, and I was very grateful that I was safe in my home and everything was going on. But I wasn't living my truth, and I recognized that. So made the difficult decision to separate, which led into divorce. And it took some time for the processing, but how I healed was, I said internally with myself, I turned to writing as a way that I never was a writer before, but to process the emotional effects of everything going on in the world was a very healing modality for me. And when I wrote, I would, recognize that was going on, and then kind of just, it still existed, but didn't bother me anymore. I released the pain that was associated with whatever was going on. And that started to be something that I really gravitated towards. And once my son was diagnosed with his hearing loss, I turned to writing on social media as a form of just helping others in a way that I felt grateful that we had an answer to help my son. And it was never in a poor us way. It was more of a, hey, this happened to us, and we have a plan. And I know in the bottom of my heart that my son is going to be great. We're going to follow this path. And just being vulnerable with other people, I started to get recognized by people in my community. My town magazine recognized our family as being a featured family, and my son for Deaf Awareness Month. And then because I had a positive spin on things, that they felt I could help people. And so I knew I could help people. And that's my purpose. My purpose in life was identified during my Kundalini yoga training, which was to serve others using God's divine love and light. And I fully integrated that into my life with my teachings, but also, through my writings and my book, I learned I have a story to tell and share to help other people on our journey. And so grateful. So yes, this is my second life. I identified this. My first life, I went to school for accounting. We talked about before going to Montclair State University. I'm a CPA, I'm an MBA. Those are all things that I was, good at, but I didn't love. I didn't wake up every day saying, oh, I can't wait to do this. But today, I wake up every morning, I look up, I'm so grateful for today. Yesterday, my book launched. I looked up the sky and I said, it's a great day for a book launch. And I'm just so excited that I get to integrate my life into my personal life, my purpose, my personal life, and my work life, and with the goal of just helping other people. My book
Yeah.
was written because I wanted to share with my children during a difficult time. Mommy did something for our family where I shared our truth for them and us, but also to help other people. And that
Yeah.
is what my true motive was.
And so I want to get to the book in a minute, but I
Mm.
just want to kind of unpack so much of what you said there because, um, you know, we at the YW have very much agree that writing and journaling is really part of the journey of being able to find your voice and to embrace yourself. And, Lisa, it's you're just reinforcing to me, we've got to connect you with our journaling group that we have at the YW,
I'd love to.
which is, has really helped. We have two wonderful facilitators, and it really has helped so many women, process and find a new way to process, a healthy way to process, and because very often, we think that writing needs to be something, I mean, every journal entry doesn't have to become a book. It's great if it does get there, but what it does do is it does give you the power back, gives you the control, gives you a place to reflect and look at what you're going through in such a really, healthy way, and then help you figure out your plan and
Yeah.
what to do next. And I'm also so grateful that you shared your experience of obviously so many facets of a life change. You went through a divorce, you dealt with your child's, again, having a being identified with having a health challenge, and worked through that, with your entire family. But you did a career change, and, like a career shift that was like a full, a a full different, direction, which again, some people sometimes have that moment where they think, oh, I would love to do this, but this is what I'm trained in. It's so wonderful to be able to see someone who's a model for doing it, and reminding us that we can do it, and we know. And that's why YWTV is so impactful, and again, so grateful for you and the others that come on and share your stories. So um so openly, because we all know that's how women get inspired to be able to think, me too, I can do this also, that this isn't just a pipe dream, this is actually an option. She did it, I can
Yeah.
do it. So you really are providing that pathway for so many. um so let's talk about the book, because again, everyone's journal doesn't evolve into a book. That's a really special outcome. And this is even more special because, like you just noted as you were kind of wrapping up your last, comments, is that this really was a gift to your family, a gift to your children, to be able to understand a time that was difficult, that you navigated your family through because you wanted them to understand, what was really going on, because they're young, and, when they get older, you want them to be able to understand it, not only so that they know what you went through, but also help give them options and inspiration. So tell us about that process. How did you decide to make your journal, this kind of journaling process that you stumbled on as being, a place to put your thoughts into evolving into a book? Because everyone, doesn't get there.
Yes. So we talked about finding your voice. So I found my voice at 40 years old. I spoke my truth, and now I'm 42. So that was something that was very eye-opening to me. Finding my voice and my healing background helped me to get there and really trust myself, trust my intuition, trust that I had the answers, trust that I had no map. Okay. I had to just believe in my heart that I was following what was meant for me, that was divinely guided to me. I generally believe in that, and then I'll be feel free and at home. And that's what happened to me. So I just kept trusting that. And finding the voice is very, very impactful. And I look back to my son. So my son now is 9 with the hearing loss. And through his hearing aids, he now found his voice, because now he can hear and now he can communicate. Because I used to always communicate for him. He could speak, but in places where it was strangers or uncomfortable circumstances, he would turn to me, especially when the hearing loss got worse. So I reflect back. I did a lot of reflection as I was writing, and I recognized that I gave him and my other son a gift, that they know how to speak their truth at 7, and they were 7 and 9 at the time, and I learned to speak my truth at 40 years old. So I think about that as a very strong gift that I'm giving them, because they can run with that in ways I can't imagine. So that was one thing I want to mention to you. I I had this interest in writing. I didn't know what I wanted to write about. I had a lot of different ideas. I didn't love the books that were available at the time. And then I was really into writing about quotes. I'm a quote girl. So you mentioned before I changed my life. One of my favorite quotes is, "She believed she could and she did." And I've had that quote on like a frame in a frame for many, many years. And that was one thing that's in my book. So my book is about quotes. I connect with quotes, and so it was very easy for me to reflect on a quote in a short way. My personal life. So my book became a book about quotes. When I met my publisher, I share with her. I found my publisher divinely through someone else, through a podcast, and it was the right timing, because everything is divine timing. It's you may have an idea, but maybe you're not ready to run with it. So when I first started writing in 2020, I wouldn't have been prepared to write a book. But I did a year of preparing for myself, writing and really enjoying writing. And I enjoyed the fact that I knew I was helping people, because people would come talk to me about my writings outside of social media, and so be it. So I found my publisher. I felt like obviously I was a novice. I didn't come from that background, but she listened to me and she heard me and she felt my fire. She saw my fire for creativity. And she basically said, "You have a fire in you that I don't want to extinguish. I want to see where this goes." So the concept of 180 days came to life. And because I was comfortable writing about quotes and short reflections, that became what I did. So each day is under 500 words. And I asked my reader at the end to reflect on what I had written, just like we talked about writing before with your group. So each day has a question that allows the reader to sit back and say, "How does this pertain to me?" To really think about it and process it, and then figure out how. Because when we reflect on these things, we're healing wounds that are inside of us, triggers, things that need to become to light for love. Obviously when we heal these things, then we release them. So that became the book, and it was something that I generally enjoyed writing about. Every day I wrote for 4 hours a day, and I just loved what I was doing, because at the time things were still up in the air in the world with COVID, the pandemic. And so I was safe in my home. I was writing. I was still going through my divorce process. My children were at school, and I was doing this, and it was healing me as I wrote. So very grateful for that. And it's a 6 chapter book. Each chapter connects with the chakras. So it's 30 days, 30 different quotes connecting back with the chakra energy center area in the form of different motions and colors that relate to that chakra, different nature elements of the chakra. So it's a whole magnitude of things, all different kinds of quotes. And just I look at this and I say, I can't believe that I produced this. Like we said before, I can't believe I did it, but I had this power in me in the fire, and so very grateful that I had that.
Well, we are too, because, not only obviously did you kind of in this process empower yourself, but clearly you have empowered so many others directly in your family, clearly through your, probably your social media, you know, family that you've created. And, now the book is going to obviously just increase that exponentially, and so appreciative of you sharing your journey here today. For our viewers, I know that, it just, there's so much here for you, no matter where you are in life. There's something here for you to definitely take away from this conversation. We want you to know how to get in touch with Lisa. If you have any questions for her, I encourage you to follow her. um, She's can be found on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We have her website here, every place that you can connect with her. So please, reach out and, start to get into her circle. And there's no doubt that you will be inspired. And as she continues to evolve, that will ripple very positively, to everyone around her. And hopefully you'll be able to benefit from that by sticking close to her in one way or another. Lisa, for us, I'm sure this is just the beginning of us talking to each other as well. I mean, obviously there's so much crossover in your journey, for whether it's our writing group, as I shared, which we're going to be launching another series of. So for our viewers, if you've left this conversation feeling, wow, maybe this is something I should try, we're going to have a way for you to do that. And so we'll be sharing that shortly on our social media, so you can sign up for that opportunity. We also, with our girls' work, with our women's work, I mean, there's just so much opportunity here in everything that you've shared, Lisa. So I do look forward to staying connected with you. And also, I look forward to someday getting over to you so you can put one of those beautiful bowls on my heart chakra, and
Yeah.
helping open up everything in me, because I really do believe in the power of what you're doing, and the positive impact that it has on one, and then from there to community for sure. So thank you so much again for being so generous and sharing your story in such detail, and in such open way. Um, and what's next? What should be we be watching with for you, for what's on the horizon?
Well, here's my book. I want to share my book. So I Am Light. Share that for everyone. So my book is available on Amazon now, and I'll be doing an audiobook soon. That'll be
Great.
available in September, October timeframe. So events at my healing center for people, group events. People can connect with me for private events. Monthly, I do an event at a salt spa called Salt of the Earth in Chestnut Ridge, New York. It's just over the border in New York, past Bergen County, where I connect with a employee, and different events on my website that they can connect with me about. So hoping to do retreats soon in the near future. Women's circles coming up as well. So people are looking for connection and community points, and I just want to be able to offer that as well. So
Wonderful. Well, again, if you stay connected to Lisa on all of her social media platforms, you'll definitely be hearing about what she has coming, so that you won't miss a bit of it. And for us, we hope that you join us next week. We'll have, or I should say, not just it's Wednesday. Hope you join us for our next YWTV. There's so much, for us to share with you along these lines. Our goal is obviously to keep you in the know of, all kinds of great information out there that's linked to our mission at the YWCA. We also do encourage you to stay connected to our website and our social media platforms. We've got so many great programs going. I know it's summer, but even with that, there's great opportunities for whether it's our senior fitness, whether it's our summer camps, whether it's our girls empowerment opportunities, our small business opportunities to support anyone's small business. So many ways and places, that you can get support and be connected at the YWCA. So with that, we wish everyone a great day. Thank you so much, Lisa, for this time today. It's so special, and so excited to watch what comes next for you. I'll be watching on your social media along with everyone else, and staying connected to your next life. I'm sure
Yes.
with all of us, they keep on coming. So
Yep.
we'll be watching to see what's next. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Very honored. Have a good day. Take care.
You too. Bye, everyone.